So this is again Aidan and Dave this time together. Aidan and Dave are obviously both at the Medicus currently at the lounge that is accessible for the patients who had surgery with the ONZ. We already heard the stories of Aidan and Dave when it comes to the actual surgery itself. Now, you guys sit here together, knowing each other like for 2 weeks. How do you experience the treatment and the treatment concept, or how much benefit you see from meeting other patients who go through the same surgery at the same time in a different country? How do you rate that?
Well, I think you can't even put a price on it. I met Aidan in the hospital post-op. Prior to that, I met a couple of the other guys and their support folks pre-op, and we were admitted together and immediately struck up a friendship around this experience we're starting. When I met this guy here, he was flying past us, and I was talking to my buddy Brent down the hallway, and I commented, he must have had his surgery a day or two before us. And then when I reached out to meet him,
find out that it wasn't a day later.
It was a day later, so he was already flying down the hallway, and he had, why don't you go ahead and tell them what you had? And I was amazed by how quickly he was up and moving.
Yes, I think so. I think that. I mean, the fact that it's a very structured process, and the fact that you go through it with other people which have similar experiences, really helps. I mean, so even if it's a swollen stomach or pain down your legs, the fact that you find out that you're not the only one which is suffering from it, is really helpful. Or we, share our experience of stool, or share our experience of sleepless nights due to the pain. And I think all this makes it very easy, because there's no boundaries, and it really doesn't matter where we're coming from. It immediately puts us in the same place.
Do you think that there's also a little bit a kind of a positive competition who runs down the corridor first? Is that kind of stimulating, or is it kind of motivating if you see others?
It definitely is motivating.
Yeah.
And to spin off what Aidan says, there's 8 of us here that are patients, and there's 3 folks that are here in support. And we're from all over the world. Aidan is from Israel. I'm from the East Coast of the United States. There's some folks that are from Canada. There's a couple. There's a mother and a daughter that are here from Texas. That we're all from different cultures. We do share the common goal here of no limitations after surgery, continuing with range of motion. We all have different things that are our passions. At home, as I had mentioned in my video, I'm a kite surfer. That's what I love to do. I love to play golf. My buddy Aidan here is an avid mountain biker. He rides, kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. And to Aidan's point, for every 8 of us, there is a different progression and a different healing. People are experiencing different things, and to be able to compare notes and say, hey, are you feeling this kind of after what we call distraction pain? It's pain as a result of everything being stretched back into the proper position. And it's just so reassuring to not go through this, by yourself. And we've established a friendship that I know through the WhatsApp communications and others, that we'll keep in touch, long after this experience. And we're hoping someday, we're already talking, he's like, if you ever come to Israel, hit me up, and my friends in Canada, and likewise. So the experience, not only from a medicinal and medical perspective in fixing our backs, in the friendships that we've established, you just can't put a price on. It's been great.
I think I'd also add that talking with other people and hearing their experience from the injury till getting through their local medical establishment, discovering miraculously that there's this kind of treatment of replacing damaged discs with artificial discs which enable movement, and then having the treatment. So all of this actually helps each of us understand his own personal story better. It kind of clarifies the entire story, because I think each of us, to some extent, was in a silo from the other people around him due to severe pain and the many years of suffering. And the fact that you can actually hear these other stories really helps you come to terms with the entire process. I think this is one aspect. And another aspect is doing this shift and getting free of pain. I mean, this is again, like for me, it's like a miracle, you know, having 20 years of pain, which is so acute, so strong that it makes my entire body shudder, and then one day it vanishes. And so this is pretty amazing, and you hear the other stories, and I think that you know, it gets you to really understand everything, and I think it also helps you motivate and want to help others.
Right.
So when I heard some of Dave's stories and how he had previous treatment, spine treatment in the neck, and then helped others through forms, and so that kind of helps me also, you know, gives me some kind of directives, you know, for the future, because definitely, you know, if I can help some other people get the right treatment, connect them with you guys, so then you know, it's a little bit of giving back to.
Would you say that? I mean, you know, generally you and also the others, many people we see, they appear totally healthy from the outside, right? You do kite surfing, you do mountain biking, and yet you have a dilemma. Would you agree to the experience that you experienced in the past, that nobody really believed you, that you have the pain you're going through, and now you meet people, and nobody understands better your sufferings than somebody who goes through the same thing, because you don't see spine injury, right? You don't have a rash, you don't have an injury, or you know, you're not from the outside, you wouldn't see it.
You couldn't have said it better, Malte. And it's and what I tell people is everybody has pain in their life, but if you've never had nerve pain, then you don't understand how debilitating and how acute and how crippling it can be. Sometimes it's minimal and you can go out and do the things you like to do, and sometimes it puts you out to the point that you can't even speak, that the pain's what we refer to as a level 9 or a level 10 pain. And then when you come through something like this, and you know, again, we've all talked about what residual pain after the fact, but I think for the large majority of us, and anybody I know, the pain you came in here with because of nerve impingement is immediately relieved, because those nerves are being freed up by those areas where there was no room due to this degeneration or the stenosis or herniation, what have you. In my case, I had all three at L5S1. I had a herniation, I had degenerative disc disease, and I had bilateral severe foraminal stenosis, which is where the nerves exit the spine. Okay, so when that area is relifted back up to the way God made you, and those nerves can breathe, it's just it's a rebirth. And again, to go through that with others and experience that next day, with your friends. You wake up the next day and everybody's energized, and it's just like kind of like a rebirth. And then to go through the next 2 weeks and share the experience of recovery, and go from getting out of the hospital bed and meeting each other to pardon me, that was a little voodoo child there. That's my buddy Brent. It's also with me here.
Oh, Brent,
looking
yes.
for me.
Yeah.
So we're very happy to have each other, and yes, we're motivated by each other as well. So we're enjoying some good German beer together when the day is done as well. Which
I just want to add that we're kind of, my feeling is that I'll be leaving with a international support team. So people that I can consult with about getting a chair which may be comfortable for me for the following months, kind of fully recovered, or discuss various sports and stuff like that which are suitable. So this is an excellent kind of extension of the excellent service that we've got from this program.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. I think you probably all both agree, and that's my experience, that transparency after spine surgery is something that is lacking internationally. It's the people, the patients, who can create transparency by building up clusters, by letting themselves hurt. That means the good, but also the bad. It's got to be a transparent picture of it. Spine surgery is a delicate decision, right? You guys haven't just decided just like this to fly over to Germany to have it. So it's a process. We are happy that you obviously do not regret that, but you're an inspiration for others who are in a dilemma and don't know what to do. It is probably unheard of, I think, if you go to your doctor locally and ask for, if he advises you a surgery, and then you ask your doctor, hey, all right, can I have 10 names of your previous patients? I want to talk to them. I'm sure you will never find any doctor who gives you any addresses.
No, in the United States, we have HIPAA laws that negate getting any information about a patient, names or procedures or otherwise.
That's only a poor, an argument not to provide that, because the patients will find a way of communication. And we know that there's in spine surgery, the outcome, especially after fusion or after discectomies and so forth, are not always brilliant. And but people need to know what kind of options are out there so they can select from. And it is best if this information comes from other patients, because it is authentic, it is true, and is what you people experience. And I think
that's actually what enabled me to rush through the process. Because of all the COVID lockdown, I actually had to rush the process, and I think from the first time I approached you guys, Jake and Malta yourself, and until I was lying in the operation room and having the surgery, I think it must have been not more than a month.
Yeah.
And I didn't even request a single face-to-face phone call, because there was just so much, because the answers I got from you were so accurate through email, and I had so many testimonials of people available online. I just felt, I have as much information as I need, and this is even in light of the fact that I consulted with some local Israeli experts, and the last one I met told me, listen, this is experimental, this is not going to work, it will anyway default to fusion. But then I had the information from you guys that you do 200 such surgeries a year, and that you've been doing it for 15 years, and that the implants are a third generation of implants, not first, not second, third generation. So all of this was just like overwhelming information, which enabled me to just fly through the process.
So last question, were your high expectations you had when you committed to come, were they met?
They were met 100%, and I would actually say have exceeded that. Having been here before and had an excellent experience at the hospital level, that expectation was already kind of there, that the care and the experience at the hospital would be there. Coming here to Medicos, it's far exceeded. I mean, far exceeded the experience or the expectation I had. I mentioned, to me, this is like being literally like on a spa vacation for people convalescing from surgery. Mm-hmm. It is. The people, the process, you're getting massages every day. The food is great at the hotel. It's just been an excellent experience, and being able to go through that with your new friends. And as I said, there's 8 of us here, and the one thing we have in common is nothing's going to hold us back. That's why we do this.
How about you? Expectations have been met?
So my expectations were rather high as I saw all the positive testimonials, but you exceeded my expectations in every single aspect. First was a very effective, streamlined process in getting the initial evaluation, which happened in days, mm-hmm. and the interaction through email, which I just got an abundance of very accurate, exact scientific information to back your claims. Following with having Andy, your taxi driver, pick me up, get me to the hospital. In the hospital, I had by far my best hospital experience I've ever had, and I've had many since my motorcycle accident 20 years ago. And regarding rehab, well, this is actually the first time I've been in any rehab facility, but I mean, it's amazing. I mean, everything here, from the lounge to the activities, to the excellent consultation for covering every aspect of what's going to be when we get home. So, I mean, it's 11 out of 10 in each single category.
One last point I'll make, just dovetail off that, is before we left, the information we were provided information on, hey, make sure you bring an extension cord so you can plug in all your American devices with just one European plug. All these different things, bring this, bring that. They thought of everything on the front end of this, and I just went right down through the sheet and checked everything that I needed to do. They made it simple. I didn't forget anything. And when you're going through something like this, to constantly get that reinforcement by the people you've chosen, it just every step of the way says, yeah, I'm doing the right thing with the right spine clinic.
Thank you very much, guys. And you have a great, active future.
Thank you, Malte, for this excellent program.